Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight is one of the games that defined my early childhood gaming. Alongside Metroid 2 and Tomb Raider, it was one of the first games I ever played, but I never played the original Dark Forces. The game came out when I was 4 and I was too young to play it, but I was always curious about it. I tried a couple of times to get the game working on my PC, but it was always very glitchy. But now there is a remaster, so now is the time to finally play it. I cannot wait. Even just the title screen has the right vibe, and I very quickly jump into it. Time to start our first mission, which is stealing the Death Star plans, which, side note, must have been stolen in the expanded universe about 3 or 4 different times by about 3 or 4 different people. It's a whole thing. Anyway, this one I knew, both from being a geek and a Star Wars geek, and also from trying to get the game to run originally, but it's the first time I can play it and it won't crash on me. Dropping in with a classic Briar pistol is so cool, and it's nice to see the game controls well. It looks good too, it's an upgrade, but without losing the charm from the original. It very much is a remaster. Anyway, on to the mission. After having a bit of an explore, with a much better blaster, I said the Briar was classic, I didn't say it was good. Kill a mouse droid, head further into the base, killing as they go until I find a switch that reveals the Death Star plans. You're right, that was too easy. Getting back is also easy, and we see the Moldy Crow, Kyle's ship, which I remember well from the other games. Of course, the Death Star plans is really just the introduction. This is the real story. It's General Mock and Dark Trooper program. This is the same concept they repurposed for the Mandalorian, the ones that Luke cuts through, but of course this is the original. Now we get the real mission, investigating this program, and we're heading to a new base. Side note, Katan looks wrong without the beard. Anyway, next mission, the game is divided into missions, and we're investigating where the Dark Troopers attacked, not a base, it's where they attacked. Lots of troopers, but nothing we can't handle, but it's a bit confusing. Eventually I find the hydro plant required to turn the power back on. I do end up having to check guides to find out where to go, which is a very blue room. At the top though is a Dark Trooper weapon, which gives us a lead to go on. Next up is Anowat City to find a weapons designer dumb enough to sign his name to the weapon. Less of a city though, more of just sewers. And yes, we had to swim through them. Gross. The level isn't hard though, there will do me a few new enemy types. Hardest bit was this platforming area. This game isn't great at that. I made it, but I am also cutting out all the misses. Grenade throwing grand, also a pain. Parkour fails aside, I still got Mock Rebus, and that is the mission complete. Next one is heading to the factory where the metal is being made to find out some more info. Remember I struggled with the platforming? Yeah, least favourite part of the game. Chucking thermal detonators at imps is fun though. Once I get to the facility I find a nice new gun and a necessary code key to open the door. I use a pair of switches to move platforms around to find other switches. It's the whole thing that took longer than I care to admit. Good news, got the medal, got out. Now to the mines where they're made so we can blow them up. Someone said to me that this game looks like a Doom ripoff, and while I do disagree with that sentiment, this hell well doesn't help that argument. We're also starting to get more enemies now and they're a bit of a challenge, but new gun too. Once we get into the mines themselves, I get lost and confused. I swear they're made for getting lost in. We get the charge planted and Dark Trooper. The thing is tough, but I blasted it to pieces for running down a long corridor, quite literally just blasters blazing, and then I get the hell out of there. Also, apparently Boba Fett's coming after me now. That's fun. For now, we're heading to an Imperial detention centre to rescue Crix Maydeen, an Imperial officer that's been feeding us information. I'm sure I rescued him in another game. Anyway, we expected this level to be hard, and it didn't disappoint. After flying over a canyon, we go through a ton of lifts, have problems shooting drones, shoot myself in the head with the ricocheting blaster bolt, get crushed in the sewer, and then finally find the man. He better be worth it. He was. He tells us about the general and where next to hit, a refining facility for the mine we blew up. This place does look at least a little bit nicer than the previous facility. Criminals too, which makes it more challenging. The level was pretty easy though, only moment of note was murdering 3 men from behind in a toilet. As you do in life. That place lets us track the shipments to a factory, which is on a frozen ice ball. Little challenging jumping around, but it's alright once I hit the conveyor belt. The factory itself was not too difficult, nothing really new, until we set all the charges. Then we get a phase 2 Dark Trooper, who kills me. Fortunately, I have 9 lives, because apparently I'm a cat, so we get him killed. The tunnels back have one of the old redundant phase 1s, but they don't stop me. Now we're heading somewhere I know. Nar Shaddaa, the Smuggler's Moon. Materials for this are being smuggled to the Empire, and this is the place to find out about them. This one has its challenges, mostly because the standard enemy here throws thermal detonators rather than shoots. Shiny new concussion rifle is nothing to sneer at though. I do eventually find the evidence though, which is mission done. We're flying away, and then we get captured by Jabba the Hutt. We start the mission being thrown into a pit to be eaten by a Kell Dragon, which I have to beat up with fists. He eats me twice, but we do get him killed. Then we explore a bit, we punch some Gamorreans, and then we find our gear. Finding Jan takes longer than finding the gear, but the concussion rifle is very useful here. I like it when I walk in and she just looks impatient, like, oh, how long are you taking? Oh well, another mission done, we're off to Imperial City, aka Coruscant. Suffice to say that Imperial City has a lot of Imperials. When they all crowd like that though, the concussion rifle makes short work. Also more Dark Troopers, but we are well equipped to deal with them, so it's easy. Next up are some puzzles that I will not try to explain, but I basically YOLO'd my way through them and got the nav card decoded. As we're heading back, Boba Fett. He spends most of his time posing though, so we take him down. Now, to an Imperial fuel station so we can get ourselves snuck on board the Executor. Yes, Vader's flagship. I would like to say the fuel station wasn't hard, but I would be lying, and it's all this puzzle. Now, to be clear, this was a me problem. There's different switches that move this platform, but literally the platform takes you to the last 3 switches you have to hit. I just didn't get it, messed up, had to repeat it a few times. Once I worked it out, my brain was finally in gear. It was easy to move the docking tube to the ship and get on board. Now the Executor, which is what we use to get to the Arc Hammer, which is where the General is and where the Dark Trooper program is being run from. Destroy that, destroy the program. First though, flagship. Being that this is the Executor, I was really expecting it to be hard, and it wasn't. A lot of enemies though. Some annoying parkour too, and Dark Troopers. Multiple Dark Troopers. But they're done, we're on the shuttle. Now for the hard level. Level? What the hell's the level? The hard level. Going around it, it feels like a harder version of the Executor with more Dark Troopers. More of me getting crushed too. After getting lost on the conveyor belts, I find the obvious final fight area with multiple Dark Troopers and Stormtroopers. When they're dead, it's Giant General Marker the Giant Dark Trooper, who was easier than I expected. And then we get to the shuttle, we get out of here, and the game is done. Now it fades as disappointment, we get a medal, yay us, and the game is complete. Conclusion. If I'm being non-biased, the gameplay hasn't aged that well and does have its issues, but it is still a fun time. If you're a retro fan or a Star Wars fan, I would recommend it. As someone who is both and now being completely biased, yeah, I loved it. I had a great time playing this game. It was a lot of good retro fun. I know for a fact I'm definitely going to be doing the rest of the series now. So that was Star Wars Dark Forces. Not the original video I planned to release today, but a fun one nonetheless. Next video, well, it'll be the Minecraft one that I said last time I was actually going to do. And I'll see you then.